Hi, I'm Cat Bell, and for this video I will be attempting a crayon melt art piece. I have chosen these colors because I'm going to be doing a Pokemon themed piece with yellow for Pikachu, blue for Squirtle, red and orange for Charmander, the various greens for Bulbasaur, and then I also have a Pokeball just to kind of center the piece around so that I can have the different sections for the different colors without them just swirling together and making a big mess. And I will be doing this on an 8x10 canvas, with the first step being to cut out the pieces so we can get the little silhouettes. So I'll be right back with that. And here I have all the little babies all cut out. So the next step will be to figure out basically the arrangement. I decided to go ahead and section off the areas by using a ruler and just going from corner to corner, since it's only 3 starters really, and then plus Pikachu, so just make nice 4 little quarters. Okay, so that's about the arrangement. And I'm going to do the silhouettes in black and then just kind of color in the shape for the Pokeball. Since the bottom of the Pokeball is white, I decided to go ahead and erase the guidelines and then just kind of went in centering this again and then going in with the white for the bottom and the red for the top. And I decided to go ahead and do the line and the button after because I could do touch-ups at that time, and I was going to do that planning on doing that with Posca. As for the silhouettes, I just went in with some black paint, and I did trace each Pokemon so that I could make sure to fill in the whole area that they would be taking up, so that I can minimize the amount of canvas that would show through at the end. And as I did with the Team Rocket piece, I went ahead and taped down the cutouts so that I could cover the areas that I had painted for the silhouettes to cover that up so that the crayon would not melt in those areas, though they still kind of did in the end. And I also decided to go ahead with the crayons in the various colors I was planning on using, just so I can kind of map out where to put more of the colors later. And I also hoped that doing this would also minimize the amount of canvas that would show through at the end. And I went ahead, instead of just having random swirls of the colors for the Pokemon, I basically did the design of their Pokemon type symbol. So it's kind of hard to see on Pikachu's because it's supposed to be a black like lightning bolt thing, but the silhouette's already black, so I thought I could do white, and hopefully, since it'll be crayon, it'll melt on top and it will get enough coverage. From future knowledge, that did not happen. But there's fire for Charmander, a leaf for Bulbasaur, a water drop for Squirtle, and then the little lightning bolt symbol for Pikachu. The next part was pretty tedious. I know for most crayon melt pieces, the thing you're supposed to do is line up the crayons and then use like a heat gun to melt it, and it just makes these little streaks down the canvas. But I had seen this other thing where you just use, I'm not sure how they created the shavings, but just using some crayon shavings to fill in the spaces. So that's what I decided to do here. And I just used a pencil sharpener to go ahead and sharpen basically the crayons and get these little shavings. And I don't know if it was my sharpener or if it's just the crayons are old since they're from elementary school, but they had a tendency to break, and the shavings were pretty tiny on some, though some of them did get nice, like the little curly Q thing when you sharpen a pencil. But yeah, this was a pretty tedious process, and this is way sped up. But at least with this method, you don't use the whole crayon. So I still have crayons, and they're nice and sharp now. So it's like double win. Anyway, I did start with the warm colors first because they're very similar, and I did wash out the sharpener and my hands between doing the warm colors and then the cool colors, because it's fine if they melt together, but I didn't want the warms and the cools mingling too much. Though I guess because I did Pikachu first and because it was closest to me, that it did get a little bit of a sprinkle of pretty much every color. But it came out fine in the end, so I guess it's fine. But working with so many colors was kind of a challenge, and also getting the layout of where the shavings go was a little difficult because they just kind of go wherever they want. And I don't know if there's like a special technique on how to place these, but it was somewhat of a challenge. And I think it was like the fire was okay and the having the water droplet was okay, but the little grass I was trying to do at the back was pretty difficult. And rather than using a heat gun, I decided to make use of the summer heat, and I took this project outside. And it was 90 degrees at the time of, this isn't a recording, this is a time-lapse picture. So a picture was taken about every 3 seconds, and I was outside for just a half hour, and Squirtle melted pretty quickly. All the darker colors pretty much did, which Pikachu's area didn't really have any dark colors. The darkest colors was like marigold, which is still pretty light. So the darker blue and the red, darker orange, and the 2 darker greens were what melted the fastest. So like I said, 30 minutes, 90 degrees. This is pretty much what you get. Okay, I'm back inside now. So this is what it looks like half hour in the sun. So obviously Squirtle melted the best, and it has this cool water effect like I wanted. The leaf looks pretty good, though the background is kind of chunky still. The flame is also a little chunky, and this one hardly seemed to do anything. So we'll see if anything pops off and move on from there. Okay, half hour in the car is a go. Let's see how this does. So this is how the piece came out. I did have to go through and scrape a bit of the extra melted wax, and there was a bit of bleeding that happened, especially between Pikachu and Squirtle and Charmander, with literally everyone, especially Bulbasaur. The yellow didn't have quite as much coverage as I would have liked over the black paint, and I did end up going over this with white just to make the silhouettes pop a little, and I did add this in with some Posca after the fact. Overall, it was a fun experiment, and I mean, I like how the piece came out eventually. I liked how the Squirtle's area looked before melting it more in the car. But overall, it is what it is, and I know what to do better for next time. And that's it for this video. Bye!